hated myself. I hated my acne, I hated my bullies, I hated my life. Confident was the last word that I would use to describe myself. Now I know some of you who are watching this right now feel exactly the same way. You might feel like building your confidence is hopeless, and I'm sorry you're feeling that way, but you are not alone in this, okay? I'm gonna share what I went through, but I'm also gonna share what helped me to rebuild my confidence even while I was going through my most severe acne, and it got me to the point where I could even smile and laugh while I was getting hate comments daily on the internet when I shared myself in high definition on YouTube. Stick to the end of this because I know I'm going to be able to help you too. Before we get into this, I want to mention that this is part 2 of this confidence series. So if you have not seen part 1 yet, pause this video, go watch that first because it has extremely important foundational steps and advice that will help you to start the process of rebuilding your confidence. If you watched the first video, you know we talked about passions helping you ignore the everyday crap that people say to you about your acne, aka the white noise. So fast forward a few months, you've been drilling into your passion, you're really starting to feel confident because you love what you're doing with your passion every day, and things are starting to feel easier. You're actually starting to feel proud of yourself, but is that fake confidence? What happens when something unexpected happens that usually would shatter your confidence? Will it still destroy the budding confidence that you've started to grow? I went through exactly that, so I want to share a little story with you guys. So the gym was always my safe place. It was where I could go any day, anytime, no matter what had happened that day or how I was feeling, it would comfort me. One day I had a huge cyst right in the center of my forehead. At this point, I knew it would go away quicker if I didn't touch it, so I just went to the gym without popping it, and I told myself it was going to be fine even if people looked, right? So I had an awesome workout. I was super pumped, covered in sweat. I made progress on lifts I hadn't before. I even had a couple guys come up to me in the middle of the workout and ask for advice on their workouts. So my confidence really was increasing. They weren't looking at my acne. They weren't even bringing it up. I was being recognized for the work I'd been showing up to do, not just what my skin looked like. Now it was time for me to go home, so I finished up my last set with an extra hard finisher, and then satisfied, exhausted, sweaty, I was done. I grabbed my water, I grabbed my bag, headed off the gym floor, right? But when I got to the lockers, my heart sank. I looked in the mirror and my fingertips went tingly. The pit of my stomach seemed to gain 20 pounds because my cyst had opened from the pressure of lifting at some point in my workout, and it was leaking white pus down my face. Immediately I thought, how long has it been like that? The whole workout? Was I talking to people with my face leaking? Who knows how many people saw it and didn't say anything to me? I was embarrassed, and that didn't even begin to describe it. I was mortified. The drive home, I must have replayed that scene, that whole workout 100 times. What happened to me in that story sucked. You know what? It's probably gonna happen to you too. Maybe you won't be a gym rat dude working out with a cyst on your forehead, but the progress you make will never be linear. It's never gonna be straightforward. It's not gonna be easy. At some point, the new confidence that you feel like you have will be tested, and what you do after that moment will be very important. Yes, it's okay to feel embarrassed. It might even be okay to take a day or two away from your normal habits or even your passion, but you cannot let it crush you down so far that you give up entirely and go back to square one. You really have done the work to gain confidence. You have a passion that is still there, and the only way you lose is if you do not get up and keep moving. Honestly, I'm going to tell you what I did. I went to the gym a little later than usual for the rest of the week. I wore a beanie so I didn't have to see the same people, but then a week after that, I had processed those emotions of embarrassment and pain. I also realized that if someone had noticed my leaking pimple, they probably had 100 other things happen in their life since they had seen me, and they probably weren't going to bring it up or honestly even care next week. And I was right. I saw all the same people the next week, and nobody talked to me about my pimples. It was just more questions about biceps. Soon the whole fiasco was months behind me, and that's what you need to do. Take control of your feelings. Don't let acne control your feelings. Everything I'm going to be sharing with you in this video comes directly from my Acne Confidence Secrets book that's in the bundle version of my acne program, theacnemethod.com. Now, the program is focused on helping people identify the cause of their acne instead of just targeting the symptoms. It's super simple, it's super effective, but for me, the Confidence Secrets ebook is really important because I wish I would have known all these things. This is the emotional side of acne that nobody talks about, and this is what we need to be working on while we have acne, because if you don't, you're not going to have confidence once you clear your acne. Now, just like the first part of this series, I'm going to give you some smaller, simple tips that are going to help you to start the journey of building up your confidence. So first up, let's reduce how much time we're actually staring at our pimples. I want you to stop checking the mirror. It's easier said than done, huh? The first thing we do when we wake up is head straight to the mirror, check out all the spots on our face, and you know what we do? We get less than an inch away from the mirror mirror, closer than anyone in real life is ever gonna be to your face, and we critique the heck out of ourselves. I know because this was my daily routine for years. In our minds, this makes our acne 10 times more severe than it actually is, and then what do we do for the rest of the day? We look at our face 20 more times every single time we pass a mirror or open our phone. I know. It's hard not to do. It helps us make sure our face isn't doing something we weren't expecting, like having a pimple leak or having blood left over on our face after we pop one, which we probably shouldn't be doing. But really, our acne is not going to improve just by looking in the mirror over and over, so we should stop obsessing about things that are out of our control. This idea, summed up as a quote, has helped me immensely. Do whatever it is in your power to do, but after that, stop obsessing. The other tip that can help go along with this is do your skincare and your bathroom routines in the dark. Either get a night light or replace your light bulbs with dimmers so that you can have only as much light as you need to see what you're doing, but no more. When our self-esteem is suffering from acne, we are literally hungry for self-deprecation. I mean, we are addicted to finding all of the newest spots and breaking ourselves down because of it. And if we stop making it easy for our egos to eat all that negativity and hate, well, we begin to starve it out. We tip the scales in our favor because when we start to take away some of those negative thoughts we're having every single day and we increase the amount of positive thoughts like pride, joy, passion, inspiration, flirtation, all of those good things, those good feelings, we finally create an environment where our confidence can grow. Those positive feelings come from you. And just like with people's opinions in real life, once you start to silence the loud negative ones, you start to realize how great the positive ones are. And because those come from you, you start to love yourself and your life. And that is how you start to grow your confidence. Acne is one of the hardest things you'll ever go through in your life, but at the same time, people won't credit it as big of a struggle as it really is. They're even going to downplay it as if you shouldn't make such a big deal about it. The only person who can change your outlook and improve your own self-esteem is you. That's difficult because it can make you feel alone, it can make you feel helpless, or it can make you feel motivated that you're the keeper of your own house. Every person, acne or not, has to develop their own self-esteem, their own confidence, and personal development, but so many people do not do that. They don't take control of their own life. I'm telling you from the perspective of someone who has dealt with extremely severe cystic acne that I couldn't be more grateful that I was forced to face my own self-image because of it. It kickstarted my own self-development and it forced me to improve areas in my life that I was lacking. So let acne kickstart the momentum you need to develop your passion, your self-esteem, your confidence, and your compassion. It's a long road, but you will be rewarded so many times over because of the work that you put in. You are more than your acne. You are more than the insults that people hurl at you, and you are more than the bad feelings that creep into your mind late at night. Don't forget that. Now, before we get into the two major points that are going to change the way you perceive confidence, I just have one more quick tip. Do not be ashamed to use cover-ups like makeup or acne stickers to cover up your acne. This is not the ultimate fix, but it can help make you feel a little bit better as you're working on these strategies to build your confidence. A little foundation or a skin tone acne sticker or even a cute star or a heart-shaped one if you're more eccentric like I am. It's a great way to just gain a bit of control that you feel like acne has stolen from you. Okay, next up is friendship. All right, so I had this best friend who would always joke about my acne and make fun of it, and I would just silently struggle because I didn't want to actually admit that I was struggling as much as I was. So I would just fake laugh with him about it and pretend it didn't bother me. But one day, on a day that I was having a very hard time, he came up and he flicked the cyst on the tip of my nose and he called me Rudolph. Now looking back, that was it. I looked at him differently from that point on. We drifted apart and eventually entirely stopped being friends, and I'm really glad that that happened. But take a hard look at your closest friends and realize who makes you feel better and who makes you feel worse when you finish hanging out with them. A lot of us don't realize we do this, but we keep people in our inner circle who thrive on putting us down, people who truly do not care about us or our feelings. These types of people are sometimes narcissistic, they think only of themselves, or they haven't gone through something difficult like acne that would help give them any perspective to see how difficult another hardship could be. Either way, having to interact with those types of people is not going to do anything good for you, so you need to cut those people out. You should only keep company around you that makes you happy while also pushing you to be your best self and reach outside of your comfort zone. Your friends should want to see you grow, they should want to see you succeed, they should give you encouragement when they see you progress in life. They shouldn't try to tear you down. It may take some time, but when you find friends like this, you should be careful to keep them around. Stay connected and don't ignore them when you aren't feeling your best. Don't lock people like this out. bring them closer in. I strongly feel that confidence is heavily influenced by your passions and this next one, which is the words that you use to describe yourself and your mindset. Looking back, this is pretty sad, but before the acne even started for me, I sincerely used to think of myself as the weird kid, because my first time attending a public school was high school, and that was after being homeschooled all the way up to that point. And a lot of people just made me feel like an odd outsider weird kid. Thinking of myself that way manifested into the truth of my life. I had a really hard time connecting with people for a really long time. I remember walking around school during lunch, I was nervous, I was panicked, and I just didn't want to look like a loser. But then whenever I had the chance to make friends, I would say something awkward, and then I would make fun of myself by saying, oh sorry, I'm weird because I'm homeschooled, or that was the homeschool coming out of me. It's terrible, and that story only gets more sad. But a whole semester, I remember eating in shop class with this 50-year-old shop teacher because at least then, no one would see me walking around looking nervous. But then, without even realizing it, I just started to gain confidence when I started to engage with my passion, and then that confidence that came from my passion started to manifest into all the other areas of my life, and then everything just got easier. I started to get along with people were trying to become friends with me instead of me having to chase people, and I just started to become happier overall. The power of your subconscious mind is immense. Think of a time where you were trying to remember something from the past and you just couldn't remember it, so you just kept moving on to something else in the conversation, and then a minute later, oh, you remembered. That's your subconscious mind working on something that your conscious mind put it to task on. What you think consciously or say out loud becomes the truth to your subconscious mind, and then it works hard in the background to make that truth a reality. This can be a great thing if you're telling yourself positive things and setting goals that you know you'll reach, but it can also be a bad thing. If we tell ourselves that we aren't enough, that we're gonna fail, or that we will never have confidence, our subconscious mind has no other choice than to try to act on those thoughts and make them a reality. Use the relationship between your subconscious and your conscious mind to your advantage so you can set yourself up for success. It might feel a little goofy doing this, but before bed, say out loud some of the things that you want in your life. You know, confidence and pride come to me naturally, or my acne will improve from the efforts I'm putting in. You may be very surprised to see the changes it makes. I didn't really believe this, but I started trying it, and then it literally changed my life. Building your confidence is already hard enough, but when you have acne, it is a challenge that becomes inherently more difficult. So many people in this world don't have to deal with acne, and it can feel really unfair, which it is, but that doesn't mean you should give up. Instead, try to think about it like this. Acne is a challenge that's going to help you grow in so many ways that you don't even realize yet. It's like carrying a 50-pound weighted vest that you hike the same trail as other people with. As you look around, it seems unfair. Everyone else is having an easy time, but when you finish carrying that vest, you will be stronger than most of them ever had to be. So acne is a blessing in disguise because it forces us to become stronger, more resilient, more empathetic. It builds our character. It helps us to be more patient. Without the challenge of acne, so many of us wouldn't learn any of these lessons in life and would have nothing to practice them on. Acne will be a major factor in your life that you will look back at either as something that stopped you from living your life to the fullest, or as something that forced you to grow immensely in character and shaped who you are today. So do your best. You can expect bad days and bad emotions. They're going to happen, but always push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Practice loving yourself and stop saying self-deprecating things in your mind and out loud. Look, I didn't have a day where I woke up and I said, now I'm confident. It takes time, and I can guarantee that you will get there if you do this one thing. Never give up. Never play the victim. Never throw your hands up in the air and just resign to hating your life and hiding from the world. If you keep trying, if you keep getting up when you stumble, I know it sounds cliche, but no matter how slow your progress is, you will continue moving forward, and eventually you'll look back and you won't even recognize the person that you used to be. Take these tips, write them down, and every single day try. That is it. Just keep trying. I'm gonna shout out two of my things. My favorite skincare brand, which is Banish. They're 100% natural, cruelty-free, small batch made. You can use my code Brian5 to get yourself a discount. And again, all this confidence talk comes from my acne program, theacnemethod.com. So definitely check that out. Go watch some of the testimonials, and then let's make some changes in your life. I know I don't usually make videos that are this long, but I felt like this was a very important one for me to do, so I didn't want to cut them short. So I hope that this was helpful. Share it with a friend who needs it. Give it a thumbs up so it gets out to other people on YouTube. And please, if you have any other tips that can help someone with acne who's watching this video right now, leave a comment below. I make videos every single week, so let me be your acne big brother, and subscribe so you don't miss my new content. Remember, you are not alone. You are beautiful. You're part of Team Acne.